What's up, guys? Sunday morning around 7 a.m. Not a climbing video. Um, I don't really have any more footage. Well, I mean, I do, but it's for other stuff. So I like doing the voiceovers over the footage. I think it's going well, but I was reading some comments yesterday from John and Bryant Cooper, and I decided to get right to it. I got up really early today. I was up at about 4:30, I guess. I mean, it's not that early for me. It's about when I usually get up, but I fucking climb the walls. So, John, this is specifically for you because this guy wrote a comment in the last video about the crate. He worked a 14-hour day and he drove an hour each way, starting his own business, doing a little bit of everything, renovations and some landscaping and things like that, even cuts down trees. Fucking props to you, man. Good job. And he worked 14 hours yesterday and he made $100 for the entire day in like a tropical climate, and he worked his fucking ass off. And he just recently quit his job in the past year, I assume, and he's starting his own business. And it's a struggle, but he's on his way up. And we're going to talk today about how you can get a higher price for your work without having to work 16 hours instead of 14 hours, because let's face it, when you're starting off, the fish may or may not be biting. Even when you get established. Like, look, guys, last year I got 1 to 4 calls a day, and I would very rarely refuse work. I would ask them if they'd seen anyone already, and if they said yes, and I'd ask how much the guy quoted them, and they would usually lie and they'd make up some fucking number, and then I'd do it for lower. I'm a fucking idiot. Imagine if everyone did this, driving the prices down. So we all have to do the opposite, actually. But anyway, I'll get to how that can be done. Short of forming a cartel, which wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. But okay, so look, you're just starting out. You just bought your equipment. You're not even fully equipped, and you're trying to do a bit of everything because you don't know where your niche is going to be. You know where you would like to be, but you're open-minded. So you're going to do pretty much any job that comes your way, and any job is a learning experience type of thing. Again, until you find your niche, until you find your sweet spot of type of work you do and type of customer you want. So the thing about this is that when you get started, you're very humble, and you're almost apologetic, and you're apologizing to the customer when you give them a quote, and you're telling them the whole time, I'm going to try to save you as much money as possible. Like, why? Look, I did this too, man. I did this too. And you feel probably deep down inside that you're not good enough to be doing this job, and you're just happy that someone is going to give you money. Now, you have to put all this out of your mind, because it's fucking wrong. It might be true only at the very beginning, only if you have no experience. Now, everyone gets nervous. It's fucking normal. But when you do more and more jobs, you're going to learn exactly what the jobs are worth, exactly what they cost, or at least how much they cost you, at least how much time they cost you, and how much money you want to make. So the market doesn't even really matter, okay? Like, because you're selling an experience. You're selling not only the work, but you're selling the way you do the work, because there are hundreds of different ways to get the same result. And I used to explain this to the customer all the time. And different arborists excel at different things, And look, ABC are my specialties. So if you want me to do X, Y, Z, it's a bit tougher for me because I'm not equipped to do it, but I can still do it. It'll just take me longer, so I have to charge more. But there are other companies that specialize in this, so feel free to call around, but this is my estimate. And okay, so getting to like the good stuff, okay, like how you can actually make more money. Well, there are already a couple of tips there, like, believe it or not, and but I'm gonna go over them a little bit. And the first most obvious way, okay, is when you do your estimates. Okay, this is key. If you don't have business cards yet, because I know you're not established yet, let's say, not necessarily you, John, but the universal you, anybody that's thinking of this, business cards are cheap, and you can get them at Staples in one day. And you don't have to do shit online. You just put them on a USB key, go into the fucking store, make sure it's a printing capable store, and you can get a box of, like, I don't know, 50 to 100 business cards for around $35. It's a really good deal. And you can design them yourself, make them any color you want. Mine are baby blue with a picture of me on it, like leaning on a tree halfway up the very first job I ever did. Like, and with the comic book font that I use in all my videos. Because it's my card, it's my shit. And my website and my ad has pictures of me on it, and Mark and Oliver and the jobs we do and the way we work. And it has links to the video and a playlist on YouTube, again, with the way we work, with the music we play, the way we work. So people, not everyone has to like it, but the people that do, they fucking call us up. And it doesn't matter what quote the other guy gives in the end. If they decide that they want us, they want us. Because we've marketed ourselves not only around the work, but around our fucking image and personality that accompanies it. So business cards definitely help. And if someone asks you if you have them and you don't say that you don't have them yet. Say that you ran out. Okay? A little tip. And okay, so business cards definitely help. An online ad helps. Wherever you want to advertise, it's up to you. But advertise at least one place online. My advice would be advertise as many places as possible. See which one works best and go with that. That's what I did. I used to advertise on Facebook, Instagram, on Virage Sale, on Facebook Marketplace, and on Kijiji. And they were all shit except for Kijiji, which is like, it's like a Canadian version of Craigslist. And it's owned by eBay, but it's garbage. It's like bargain basement shit, you know, but I used to get a lot of calls from it. So, you know, again, go with what works. So on your ad, have pictures of your work. You know, don't just fucking lift a picture online. Like, you can do that at first before you have any footage, but footage, pictures definitely helps, especially if the competition doesn't have any. In my line of work, man, the smart guys will have footage and pictures and a description of every task. See, like, when it's up, I'll give you guys a link to my website. But basically, the more keywords you have, the more traffic you get, because people are going to search for those keywords. So instead of just putting tree work as a keyword, put tree work, chainsaw, Husqvarna, steel, pruning, trimming, branch rigging, storm damage, branch pickup, winter work, emergency repairs, all that shit. Like, put those in the keywords, but you have to have that in your description on your website also, and you have to have relevant parts. That's a fucking caveat. So it actually, you can't just blow it up with fucking keywords, otherwise they're gonna fucking catch you and you're never gonna get fucking traffic again. So use all the keywords you want, but make sure you have a paragraph description for each one. So on our website we have sections for tree trimming and tree removals and tree felling and tree chunking down and spiking and rigging and all this stuff, and we have a description of what it is, and then next to it there's a picture, you know, of said fucking task. And a little bit later on, which is what I'm working on right now, it's not going to be a picture, it's going to be an actual video. So you scroll down the website and it's going to say rigging, and then you scroll to the rigging section. It explains that when there's a branch in a difficult to reach place, it has to be tied with a rope, and there has to be a guy on the ground holding it, and this is done via XYZ or whatever. And then automatically a video is going to fucking play right next to it. You know, you don't even have to click on the YouTube link. It's just going to play in a fucking window. And it's going to be of a branch being tied. You know, Mark's going to be on the ground. I'm going to cut it, and it's going to go down beautifully, and it's going to avoid everything. And there, rigging. So anyone that searches for it, boom, oliverstreeservice.com. So that, you know, give yourself every advantage possible. And yeah, I use Wix for my website. I tried a bunch of other free ones, but Wix worked the best. The basic package is garbage. You can't do anything. You're going to have to pay a little bit of money. If you want a domain name, which I recommend you get, you're going to have to pay a little bit of money. And also, if you don't get a domain name and you use theirs, the features that they let you access are extremely limited. So if you want your website to show up, you're going to have to probably pay, I paid $10 a year for my domain name. And then you choose a package. So yeah, you can get a free package, but it's not going to let you do anything. And it's not going to let the customer, the viewer, do anything. So if you pay a little bit for a package, it's like $5 a month, $10 a month, $20, $30 a month. But it lets you access different features. Now, the feature I wanted that nobody else wants, because they don't give a fuck about it, is to be able to upload video. So they have one package for like $10 a month, I think, and you get half an hour of video footage on your website. There's another one for 20 bucks a month, and you get up to an hour of video footage on your website. So these are things to consider, especially when all the other guys, most of them, they just have a picture of a bucket truck and they say 20 years of experience, like fully insured or some shit. So like, look man, if you want someone to like take down a tree, like okay, that's like a run-of-the-mill like lazy piece of shit fucking website. You see that and you're like, okay, there's a number. Or you see ours, and ours is fucking crazy, and you're like, yo, I want to be a part of that. What, a YouTube channel? These guys are fucking famous. What, 335 subscribers? Donald Trump? How can I, how can I get in on that? And you can't, but you can pay us money, and we'll show up at your house, and for however long it takes us to fucking take down the tree, you can pretend like you're fucking part of the gang. How about that? So, you know, that's on the website angle. And you have your business cards. Okay, so you have your ad, you have your business cards, you still want to get the price you want because you're getting low ballers calling you. So here's another thing. Equip yourself. Even if you don't have money to buy nice gear, like even if you have to buy gear at Harbor Freight like John does, nothing wrong with it, man. I looked at their website yesterday because we don't have it in Canada. Man, that's great stuff. It's fucking great stuff. Buy whatever fucking does the job. And if you let it become a chip on your shoulder that, oh no, you know, I have used equipment, I have inferior equipment, but like it's gonna consume you. So buy whatever you can, buy the best shit that you can, even if it's fucking low quality or used or whatever. Take the best care of it possible. Organize it. Make sure your work vehicle is fucking organized. Have a work vehicle, okay? Have a fucking work vehicle and have the appropriate work vehicle. Again, it doesn't have to be new, but make sure it's fucking clean and make sure it's organized. If you can't afford a fucking van or a truck and you need a van or a truck, and in the meantime you're using your car, make sure your car is as organized as can be. Like let's say if I didn't have a fucking truck, you know, I would have to buy one like as soon as I could get one. But if I had to use a car for tree work, you know, I would still put a $25 sign on the side of my car. It says Oliver's Tree Service with a phone number. It's like the Estimate Mobile as far as people know. And I would put that on there, and I would go do my jobs in that. But in the trunk, everything would be pristinely organized. I'd only take what I needed on each job. So I'd have my tiny climbing chainsaw, my harness, you know, a rope or two, and that's it. Then I'd pop the trunk, and it would be to the point where even though people don't use cars for tree work, you want to make the customer think, wow, that's a great idea. And like, you know, if your setup is nice and tight, like it can actually be way more efficient than the quote unquote proper products. So another thing that I'm going to lead into with that is that once you have your work vehicle, you should get a sign or a sticker for your vehicle. You can get these at Vistaprint of all different sizes. I bought 2 of them. I bought one for either door of my pickup truck. They're about 16 inches by 16 inches. They're magnets. They're 25 bucks each. I have the name of my company and the phone number, and yeah, 25 bucks each, man. And I designed them myself, but I played around with some pre-made templates. So it's really easy. You don't even have to design shit if you don't want to, if that's not your bag. But spend the time because it's important. Okay, so you still want to get a better price because people are still lowballing you. Okay, once I went to go do an estimate, and there was another guy quoting for the same job at the same time as me. And it was on the weekend, so I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. And so was this guy. And he showed up in a Mini Cooper, brand new, and he was wearing flip-flops, and I was wearing like skate shoes, and I show up in my pickup truck. So it was to take down 4 trees. And the guy, I was gonna quote minimum $600 per tree. So the guy quotes $200 per tree, and he does it first, you know? So the woman says, okay, your turn. And I said, 600 bucks per tree, times 4. And so the other guy got the job. I said, I'm not doing that shit for fucking peanuts. Yeah, all 4 had to be climbed. So I asked the guy, I said, are you doing this yourself? How can you do it for so little? And he says, fuck that, I don't climb. He's a landscaper, but he has a tree company. And he hires a climber for the day. That's like a legit climber that's working for like another tree company 10 hours a day for $30 an hour. And he'll give this climber like fucking, 200 bucks for the day for like 8 hours of work, and he's gonna pocket the rest. And like you might be thinking that's smart. I don't like that. Like even though it's like entrepreneurial, maybe in 40 years I'll do that, but this guy was my age. And like I wanted to tell the customer, like this guy doesn't even know what the fuck he's doing, man. Like and the guy's gonna do a shit job because he doesn't give a fuck because he's only making like $200 to climb up 4 fucking trees. It's fucking peanuts, man. Like, but whatever. Like, first of all, it's a removal, so it doesn't really matter. If it was a trimming or a pruning that needed to really, like, I don't know. Like, for removal, it ends up the same way. You know, the tree's gone. Now, if the guy gets paid less, he's more likely to hit something, isn't he? Because he doesn't give a fuck. Or he's ill-equipped. Now, if he's making a lot of money, he's more incentivized to do a great job. Now, the result is the same, a tree stump. But if it was a pruning or a trimming or something like that, you know, you want to make sure that you're fucking hiring someone that's going to take the time and have the patience, even if he charges you a little bit more, to do a fucking nice job. It's not about undercutting a fucking guy that doesn't know shit about tree work. So I told myself that would never happen again. So this is where I'm getting to with this story. So if I had showed up in my fucking gear, that wouldn't have happened. Because in my gear, it looks like I'm a fucking lumberjack. And this guy, you could dress him up however he fucking wants, and like he's not faking being able to use a chainsaw. So lesson one, you know, when you give your fucking estimates, go in fucking uniform. If you don't have a uniform, you know, with like a company name on it, it doesn't matter. I don't have that. But I always wear my Kevlar fucking chainsaw pants. I always wear a fucking jogging shirt, which is what I found to be the best for work. I tuck it in. I've got my fucking red arborist boots. They're not for fucking walking around, but they help me get jobs. So I'm always full of sawdust. Pants, fucking shirt, and I buy the bright pants, by the way. And not just because they're better for climbing, but they stand out more. So if I like, you know, the pants cost $200, the ones that I get, and believe it or not, like they're usually more expensive. They're usually about $400, but I get it. I buy the Shop brand, which is fucking amazing. There's a climbing store here called Landry Security, and they have their own brand, SL Tech. Most of my shit is from them, and their products are fucking incredible. So their harnesses that they make in store cost more than the fucking top of the line harnesses. You know, I paid fucking $600 for my house brand harness, and I didn't want a Petzl one or a universally known professional. I wanted their professional one. It's fucking better. So find something that's good, and doesn't matter how much it costs. Fucking use whatever works best for you, and do whatever it takes to get your hands on it. So if you show up to do estimates, if you show up in uniform, you're increasing your chances of getting the price you want by minimum 50%. Minimum. Okay? And same thing with your work vehicle. And if all your equipment is there and it's packed away tightly and cleanly, even if you don't have $500 boots and $200 fucking pants and all this bright shit, the coup de grace, by the way, if I really want to lay it on thick, I'll wear my fucking helmet. You know, I just came from a job. I have my helmet, the strap's undone, but it's orange. It's got the fucking smoke visor, the fucking green earphones, and the people see that and they're like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. Especially with the camera on top. It's like, you know, like use what you have, right? So I'm not gonna mask all this shit so I can lose a fucking estimate to some guy that doesn't even fucking cut trees. And if you don't have a fucking, you know, expensive gear, it doesn't matter. Just make sure everything's fucking clean. Like, always have work boots. Always, always, always. Never work in running shoes. You know, invest, okay? Like, even if you, I know it's not comfortable, you get used to it. And you look like a fucking professional. And the most important thing of all is that, like, it'll save you. It'll save your fucking toes. And then you'll be able to keep working, okay? So don't fucking cut corners on that shit. Work boots, always fucking pants. Like, I know, like, it sucks and you want to work in shorts and you can, but always work in pants. And if customers ask you, oh, you know, you must be hot. Yeah, but the debris goes, I can't work in shorts because debris goes in my boots. And they're going to say, oh, wow, I never thought of that. That's smart. And they're going to respect you even more. So always work in pants, and don't work in sweatpants. Don't work in track pants. Don't work in, like, what's comfortable. Work in what's fucking functional, okay? So either jeans or work pants. But I find painter pants are the best. Walmart, man, they have a pair. They have a couple of pairs. Rustler. Okay, they're fucking, in Canada they're $18. In the States they're probably about $13. These are not the cheapest pants that they have, but they're the best pants that they have. You can get the George Painter pants for about $5 less, but the pockets are too small. so they're shit. So as soon as you wash them once, the pockets shrink, and the cotton inside the pockets pops out, and you can't put anything in there. And if you put anything in there, it's gonna pop out and it's gonna fall out. Trust me on this, don't fucking cheap out. Buy the Rustler fucking work pants if you have no money for anything else. They're just fucking basically jeans. Paint your pants. They have them in all colors. And tuck your fucking shirt in. That's it, you know? Get some fucking work shirts. Just make sure they're the same color, you know? Find out what works best for you. High visibility is a good way to fucking sell yourself and to look professional. Get a fucking hard hat. Safety glasses. Always, always, always PPE. Personal protective equipment. Okay, get used to fucking working with it. You know, like, even if you fucking hate it, like I do, like, you do get used to it, and it makes you, okay, not, it's slightly safer, but it makes you look like a professional and therefore land better paying jobs, okay? And no, it's not just about the equipment. That's why I emphasize filming your work and documenting your footage and everything, because then you don't have to bullshit anybody. You can say, did you see my ad? Did you watch the video? Look at the pictures. Oh, was that you in the pictures? Yeah, all of them. Can't you recognize my fucking ugly face? Fuck, like, yeah, that was me. So, like, the work speaks for itself. So yeah, call around and get quotes from the competition, and go with whoever you feel is the best. And no one else is even gonna give an honest answer like this. Okay, so if you do all of these things, you're giving yourself so many advantages that the competition does not even think of. And I'm sure you already have your own tips and tricks. So combine what I said with what you already know, and I guarantee you're gonna make more money than you're making now. I don't know how much more, that depends, but you're definitely gonna fucking make more. It goes a long way. And when you give your estimates, go to Staples, or you can do this on your computer. I did it on my computer. I printed out a letterhead, Oliver's Tree Service, like fucking fake address and shit. And I put a little logo on the corner, and I had some for invoices and I had some for estimates. And very, very, very simple. And it had a box with like a grid, and it said like item, description, quantity, like price, and just boom, 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 boom. And at first I didn't have enough room, so I went home and I made a bigger one, and I just redesigned it accordingly. So you can do that. You can print out your own letterhead for free. It's just very fucking easy. But if you don't have a printer, or if you don't have any of that shit, again, you can go to Staples and you can get a receipt pad. Just ask them where they are if you don't know, or an invoice pad, whichever one. They have a whole bunch. They have a whole bunch of different ones. They have basic ones, they have complex ones with tax numbers and everything like that. Get like a mid-range one, that has a space. It'll cost about $7, and get a carbon copy, a carbon pad inside or whatever, carbon backing, and it's gonna have date, address, sold to, sold by, quantity, description, item, price, tax if applicable. And what you do, you fill that out when you give your estimates, and you take one of your business cards and you buy a pack of paper clips, for like fucking $1 for like, a couple of hundred or whatever. And whenever you give the estimate, you rip off the piece, the original, and you keep the carbon copy, and you clip your paper clip with your business card to the top right corner. And especially if you're running a cash business, and you're just getting started, so you don't have a fucking tax number or any of that shit. You're just trying to fucking put gas in your truck and be able to eat and be able to, further your business, so you don't have any of that shit. So there's, no one can really come after you, because it's not on a letterhead. It's not like, oh, you're not going to get a letter from the government saying, oh, you owe us this much because you charge this much for this job. The customer is going to know because you clipped the business card to the estimate, but that's going to come off in a couple of days anyway, and they're going to pin it onto their fridge. And you can paper clip anything to anything. It's not fucking proof. Okay, so a little word to the wise. So when you show up to do your estimates, be professional, look professional, have your work set up fucking mint. Okay, super organized. If you did a job yesterday, like, and the customer wants you to go do an estimate like first thing in the morning, like, it's okay if your stuff looks worked in, but if there's like cans of fucking Pepsi crumpled up in the back of your truck, and like, other like garbage and shit like that, like cans of sardines or whatever, then yeah, empty that, because it all matters, and like reorganize it a little bit. You'll see it goes a long way. And so yeah, when you go do the estimates, yeah, make sure everything is fucking clean and professional. put a sign on your truck, get business cards, get either an invoice or estimate pad, receipt pad, or print out your own letterheads for this. I said sign for your truck, and get a good voicemail message for your answering machine. Never answer your phone. That's another one, okay? Never answer your phone during work hours. You can answer it at night or in the evening if you want, but have a message that says something like this. You've reached so-and-so's whatever business. If you're hearing this message, it means I'm on the job right now. I'm very busy, but I'm happy to take your call. So leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And that's pretty much it. And that way, you get to screen your customers. And if you answer during the day, even though you are desperate, like they're never, like, if you don't answer during the day, and you call them back, always call them back after business hours. And when I call customers back, I either call them the next day, because that's how busy I am, or I call them that same day between 7 p.m. and 7:45. Because between 5 and 7 is supper time, and after 8 is too late. And people, I don't like being called after 8. Yeah, fuck you. So, I treat others how I want to be treated. So I know it's a small window, but the people really fucking, it works, man. It fucking works. And my message says, if you're hearing this, I'm either in a tree or in the hospital. And I'm really busy. So, just say what you have to say and I'll call you back. And they say it's hilarious or whatever. But, it works because you're also selling yourself. So when you do all these things, I know at least one of them is going to work, but they're all going to work. And, if you guys are seeing this and you have your own tips and tricks to get more cash without really having to spend more cash, even though I said, I'm not saying buy expensive gear. I'm just saying take care of your gear and make it kind of obvious that you do what it is you do. So let's say you wear a tool belt at work and there's no need for you to really wear one on an estimate. It doesn't always hurt. I'm not going to wear my harness and my climbing spikes while I'm doing an estimate, but like I said, fully clothed, clipboard. And when you give your estimates, one more thing, this is all over the place, but still, man, I know what you were asking for. I know what you wanted to know. So hopefully this answers a lot of questions and gives you some more insight. And yeah, so when you give your estimates, don't just give a final price. Break down the entire estimate. And you don't have to do it in front of them. You can turn your back to them. You can walk around the yard. You can crouch on a stump on their balcony. Just say, I'll just need a few minutes. I'm just adding everything up here. And, let's say you have 10 little bushes to pull out. They're small. And you have some patio stones to move. And you've got an old deck to take down. And you've got some dirt that you have to bring in the front yard. And then you think in your head, okay, I would do all this for $500 or something. So you tell the customer, okay, I'll do it for $500. Then she might or he might agree. He might haggle with you. And, you might get the job, you might not. You might get your price, you might not. But if you break down the bill, and even if you don't know exactly how much you should charge, item by item, you just have a global idea of how long it would take. Start fucking learning what to charge item by item. So let's say you have 10 little bushes to pull out. I don't know if I said 5 or 10 before, but let's say it's fucking 10. And each bush will take you fucking 15 minutes to pull out. Okay? You can charge $5 a bush, or you can charge $25 a bush. I would recommend charging $25 a bush. But when you have 10 of them, it's $250. So that's half what you were originally going to quote. And what else did I say? You had to move some patio stones. Okay, depending on how many you have to move, let's say it's 3 or 4. If they don't weigh anything, it's not even worth mentioning. But let's say they're 50 pounds each, and you have to move them from the front to the back. Well, charge the customer per stone. Say if each stone is going to take you, let's say fucking 10 minutes to move. Look, I'm being hypothetical here, okay? I'm just picking things that aren't tree related just to give, and these are actually jobs that I've done. While I did trees, I had to do odd jobs, and the customer paid me more than what I asked for. So it's lucrative to be open-minded to the type of work you accept as well. But having said that, stay focused in your line of work. Because people are going to be like, oh, you should get into like whatever that's completely different. It's like, fuck you, you go get into that. I have a business, I'm doing what I do. Like, so you start adding up little items on your bill, and I guarantee you that the price you get is going to be way higher than the fucking global fucking ballpark that you're used to giving. And this is a good thing, okay? Because this is not even close to what you're supposed to be getting. This isn't even what you should be getting yet, but it's several steps in the right direction. So you break down your fucking estimates item by item, and watch that shit add up and charge for everything. Charge for everything. Have everything in point form. Really nice, okay? Even if you can't write for shit, write as organized as possible. Fill in the fucking boxes. Even if you're slow, even if you're dyslexic, take your time, okay? Customers respect this. Your time is worth money. Have them fucking pay for it. Nothing is free, okay? And, you're taking the time to do this and to go do the estimate professionally and everything, and you clearly have your setup and you're well equipped and you're very meticulous. So this just fucking increases the chances of you getting the fucking price that you want. And when you give the breakdown of, and you go over it with them, because they see the final price, and again, you're no longer fighting to get your foot in the door. You no longer feel like you're not good enough to be there. They see it. It's a lot of money, and it's way more than they thought, which is good. And then they start thinking of ways to either reduce their bill or to get you to do less work. Because sometimes you're going to say, can you give me a lower price? And then you say, the only way I can give you a lower price is if you take things off the bill. That's the only way. Like, I can't give you a lower price out of the goodness of my heart. Like, as you see, all this stuff takes time, all this stuff costs money. I'd love to, but I just can't. I have an overhead, I have a business to maintain. You see all my equipment, but and that's no hard feelings. And feel free to get quotes from competitors. And if you choose to go with me for whatever reason, give me approximately 1 week's notice or 2 weeks notice, or because I'm still quite busy, and that's it. And I'm telling you, like, you might not get every job this way, but the fucking lowballers and the shitbags, you're gonna weed them out. And like I said yesterday, some of them you're gonna convert them. Some of them are gonna pay your price, or you can eliminate things from the bill. Like, we did a job for $900 last week that took fucking 5 hours, and it was easy. And the guy wanted me to do less than I was originally gonna do. I went there ready to climb up like 2 fucking tall trees, and he didn't want me to do any of that. Like, he barely wanted me to do anything. And I was like, yo, dude, I can't charge you $900 to like walk around your yard and clip like 3 branches. And he's like, oh, well, you can do a bit more. So I did a bit more, and then he wanted me to do way more. I'm like, yo, I'll do a bit more. So I did way less than I was planning to do. And yeah, I made $900. Well, Mark and Dave were there, so I made about $600. So it's like, pretty good. And he came up to me, and it's funny because he lived near my parents, and he recognized me because I used to skip rope outside of their house every morning. And we talked about like boxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that. So that's how I got the job. And he saw I was fucking clearly invested in my equipment. This guy had money too, man. Like, he had 2 Mercedes fucking SUVs, and he used to have a Ferrari. Yeah. But yeah, man, like, he was trying to get in with me. It'll cost you $900, if you want me to fucking work at your house for 4 hours. So that was really cool. So another thing, I'm not at this point yet, but I'm getting there because it's happened. But if you can get money up front for your jobs, 50% is ideal, but 25% is a good start. And you don't have to, look, it's just a mindset. Because for all the reasons that I mentioned up until this point, you should be getting paid at least partially up front. Because why wouldn't you? And this is assuming you have to bring no materials on the job. But especially if you have to bring, like, I don't know, like 1,000 pounds of bricks or wood or some shit like that. The customer pay for that, not only in advance, but they should be paying you minimum 25% upfront. So I know this is hard, but ask for it. Ask for it all the time, okay? And a lot of people are going to refuse. But it doesn't matter, because 9 people refusing that don't fucking matter compared to the one person that agrees. You know, and even if you have to hit the block all day and knock on doors and say, I'm in the area, I just finished a job, and I can give you a free estimate for your entire property if you like while I'm here, you know? And no hard feelings. And you give the estimate, and if they agree to it, you collect half up front. Half up front. Have them sign a receipt, or you sign a receipt saying that they paid cash or whatever, half up front. And if they see your gear and everything like that, and that you're invested, and you have an address, and you're legit and everything like that, and the guy's like, yeah, I did a great job, they'll gladly pay you. And even at first, my man Keith Kalfas, he's the one that put this idea in my head about charging half up front. He did this before he even had any equipment. He did this with fucking nothing, man, just on his feet. And he would have his clipboard though, and you know, he shirt tucked in and everything, and people, they didn't know he was a one-man show. Like, they thought that, and he would say I'm starting a business, but they would think that they would see him as a real professional. They would think he was like an estimator or something like that, you know, and he would send like the grunt works later, but it was him. He's the one. Fucking then, you know, he shows up looking all professional and calculating an estimate for, you know, an entire neighborhood basically for 12 hours a day, and then he takes, you know, half of their money all up front, and he buys all the tools that he needs to do every job. And the first week he shows up with like a push lawnmower on foot, and then the next week he's in a fucking pickup truck, and then so on and so on and so on. And you can't like worry about, you know, feeling unworthy and stuff like that. And instead of tucking your sack back, like, you should be dragging your balls across a fucking table. But that's the subject for the next video. So I hope this helps, and if you guys have tips, man, leave them downstairs, because they'd fucking help me. And, you know, let's not kid ourselves. That's why I make videos, to fucking help myself. So if it helps you guys as a result of me helping myself, then great. But yeah, I serve no one, and I'm trying to get you guys to that point too. So I hope you enjoyed the fucking content. Stay tuned for more. Have a great day, guys.